Welcome to the Fantasy Aceball podcast. This is your host, Tim Kanak. You can find me on X at Fantasy Aceball. And of course, we have with us back in the ring, we got Doc Eisenhauer. You can find him on the Twitter at Doc Eisenhauer. What up, Doc? You're in Atlanta, man. You're on the move, on the traveling move. Every pod, Arizona, Atlanta. Where's next? Nobody knows.
I don't know. But my wife's going to want me to stay put for a little while after this because, I got a couple of kids at home I'm leaving her with, and so I do feel bad about that.
You're going to grow the stash back when you're gone? Just like grow it back temporarily because you're gone and she can't see it. I miss you, old buddy.
I have weird facial hair growth. This is like a few days, man. It takes a while. So I can't get a beard going. But if you give me some time, as you can see, like there's a very fine teenager trace right now with a mustache. It will slowly but surely develop.
Yeah. See, that's the move. You just grow it back, and then right when you get back to the wife, there you go. I didn't grow any mustache, I promise you. So before we started, we were talking about how your boy Ryan Weathers showed out today in his first appearance back. So it was only 3 innings, but 3 good innings.
Yeah. I mean, we don't want, like, he could implode right next inning, so this might age like milk. But, he's whipping a 92-mile-per-hour slider out there, folks. He's got a 5-pitch mix. We're going to find out. I haven't been able to watch the game. I just got in to do this pod into my hotel room. So I'll have to go watch it either later tonight or more likely tomorrow, make some real judgments. But I'm interested to see if he can actually stick to a real 5-pitch mix. Ryan Weathers, so far, so good against Chicago.
Chicago. How about Logan Henderson, dude? Comes up, like they just announced it the other day that he's going to be back after they brought Tobias Myers down. And I kind of thought, I was like, oh, maybe Woodruff's ready. And then they're like, no, he's not ready. Bring Henderson back. Shoves 5 innings, 7 Ks, the win. He is showing up. Logan Henderson, stick with it. And hey, I'm going to throw a trade out there. This trade just happened in a 16-team odd new league in the Fantasy Aceball Invitational. Good old buddy Raymond Atherton, for those who know him, traded Jesus Luzardo for Logan Henderson, and I think it's like a $3 Logan Henderson, a $14 Jesus Luzardo for a $3 Logan Henderson and a $7 Jordan Westberg. Who won that trade? Raymond completely demolished in that trade, I think, right?
Those are both really volatile assets to me, to be honest. I don't really know. Like, I don't have a strong feeling about Luzardo or Westberg. I think they're actually both kind of risky. So, honestly, go with your gut.
Oh, you're down the middle. I told him, I was like, dude, you totally trade raped that guy on that one. As I'm a big Jordan Westberg believer, I know he just had a setback because he was like supposed to be close to coming back, and he just had a setback. So it's like maybe get a little scared of, like, is he going to give me, especially the Orioles, right? Like, how many setbacks has Grayson Rodriguez had already? So maybe you say, but yeah, so I get that. And Doc just dropped off from the hotel room connection. So we got to get Doc back here. In the meantime, I will keep chattering as I'm making fun of Raymond. And here he is. We got Doc back. So there's Doc. You didn't miss anything. I was just buying time. I'm just buying time right now. So we got Doc back now. And I did not get any live looks again, Doc, because I was recovering from Disney World. Everyone in my house got sick after Disney World. So thanks, Disney, for your dirty handrails or whatever, from getting all my kids sick. And then my kids got me sick. But so we're all recovering. But I am going to see a game tomorrow. So I will, next time we have a pod. I might have 2. I might go to 2 games. But I've got Marlins and Fort Myers tomorrow. And I already saw that they announced that Dason Hill is not pitching tomorrow. So that sucks because I wanted to see him again. But,
it's a bummer.
That's the way the cookie crumbles. More Andrew Salas, more PJ Orlando. Dylan Head's been playing really well lately, too. So that's a guy that I'll get to see tomorrow. But in the meantime, Are you ready to get into the top 10, Doc? Because we got more of your guys. Like number one here is like a big Doc guy too. So I think we got to get it right into number one here. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, brother. Full disclosure for the listener, you are like semi-robotic, but like it's very funny because I can hear you, but it's like the bare minimum of we can do this. I can understand everything you're saying. So I'm ready to roll with this. But if I have any weird delays or weird responses, it's not because I'm on drugs or drinking 6 beers. This is my first beer. And I don't do drugs.
Hotel internet for the win. Get the Starlink. Hey, shouldn't they buy you a Starlink? Come on. You can just travel with the Starlink everywhere you go. I saw some dude. Cool. I saw some dude gaming on an airplane on the Starlink the other day. So anyway, number one, big Doc guy, Jonah Tong with the Mets. Last week in 2 starts, 10 2/3 innings, Doc, with 21 strikeouts, 3 walks, 0.84 ERA, 0.66 whip. Ridiculous. Literally 2 strikeouts per inning. Absolutely insane. And you were the one earlier this podcast season. I was like, Tong at 150. And then you were like, dude, you need to bring him up. Why do you have him all the way down at 150? And I was like, I don't know if I necessarily buy the command, because his command when I saw him was really shaky, and then he got better as the season went. And I wasn't necessarily buying it, but I think by this point, we should be buying that command. 21 Ks to 3 walks in 10 2/3. That is like all day. Give me the Ks, baby. And when he pitches too, like it's so interesting because nobody pitches that overhand anymore. Everyone's pitching from like more like closer to 3/4 arm slot, and he's like almost like straight overhand. Like you don't really see many guys throwing.
Andre Palante.
Yeah, Palante is one. Giovanni Gallegos. This is like a Cardinals thing, I guess. But yeah, Jonah Tong, like really overhand arm slot. And I think what gets a lot of these people, because his fastball is his best pitch, is because he throws from a very overhand arm slot, and then he has a ridiculous amount of IVB on that fastball from that arm slot. So it's kind of weird, because you would expect like Palante, when he's throwing from that arm slot, all his pitches are going down. They're darting down really fast. His stays up. So it's just like, what? So I think that's what makes him so good. But where are you at on Jonah Tong, who, by the way, has a 50% strike rate in 4 of his 6 starts this year? And that is those are the starts that he's been killing it in. So,
well, first of all, very important to note that I wrote and told everyone that Maikel Garcia is a star, and then he started going over forever, and he just hit a home run. So I'm validated.
Ooh, you bad.
Gosh,
you bad.
You know when that happens, right? As soon as you hype a guy up and he just starts sucking, you're like, bro, look, I know what I saw, and it's gonna be fine. And
wait for the Caleb Durbin.
No, I mean, that's a whole, we can go on about that, but it's very funny. People are like, it's easy to say like, oh, Caleb Durbin, oh yeah, it's over after a week or two of bad hitting. Meanwhile, we're like, Jordan Walker, 3 years in, he can still, obviously I think Walker and Holiday, these guys are better long term, but it's funny, there's no mercy for like the fringy guys. Jonah Tong, yeah, like he could easily come back and have a career. Jonah Tong, speaking of nothing to do with any of that, he's a Canadian kid of Asian descent, as you might have guessed by Tong. I don't really like that he's slender. I'm pretty, like, with pitchers specifically, I'm pretty kind of particular on build. Typically want more durable frame, but again, if you can pull it off, you can pull it off. Tim Lincecum, right? So Jonah Tong, though, yeah, it was pretty obvious to me he was fixing his command, and not like more so than Jacob Mizorowski, right? Or like, I actually am not sure I really buy the Mizorowski thing yet. It's a little better, but like we need to see more improvements. The goods, it's the right direction, but Tong like went, he completely, I don't know what he did. I haven't looked into him on how he got from like 11 walks per 9 to, by the way, I had you on good, like we're good now. You're not robot anymore. And so I just closed. It was from closing on my tabs. That means this is pure ball knowledge, and whatever you pull up is what I'm going to go off of, because I'm not risking robot land again. So
there we go.
Just from what I remember, yeah, it's just straight ball knowledge, folks, or lack thereof. Jonah Tong, though, he did. I think some people, yourself at the time included, were like, his command's no good. And I think to this day people will say that. And I'm like, no, just go look. Like he's clean. He really cleaned it up. So we'll see what happens. He's with the Phillies, correct? Or
Mets. He's a
Mets.
Met.
Yeah,
The Mets
yeah.
pitching right now. All the the Mets have so many good pitching prospects. It's insane. And he's like, I don't know. Like, are you? Let's throw Mets pitching prospects out there since I'm doing team rankings. Are you taking Jonah Tong over Brandon Sprout right now?
I kind like what sometimes you have these guys where like you fall in love with them and you're like you don't want to let go, and so I'd have to think about that. I'd have to probably line them up side by side. This is where I'm just go. I guess I'm just gonna go off my gut. I'd say I want to give Sprout a little bit longer, but I wouldn't shame anyone for going Tong. What level is Tong at right now?
He's at AA and Sprouts at
Okay.
AAA.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Sprout's up there. So, I mean, AA, it's pretty good. He's still pulling it off. I think he's becoming a serious prospect. He needs to be in people's top 100s if he's not.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, look at these strike rates that we're seeing this year. The first game, 42% strike rate. So anyone who's not watching on the YouTube, this is incentive to go watch on the YouTube instead of just listening on AirPod, on whatever, Spotify or whatever you're listening on. But 42% strike rate in his first game of the year, 52 in the second, 50 in the third, 61 in the fourth, and of course he goes 10 Ks that game with one walk. 48 in the next one, and then 55 last time out, where he had 13 strikeouts and 0 walks. So you're seeing way more higher strike percentage from Tong is going to increase his K rate too, not just limit his walk rate, but at the same time, he's actually getting more success on swinging misses by throwing more in the zone. That's just the way his stuff is playing. There's some guys who you don't want them throwing in the zone. You want them throwing that breaking stuff outside of the zone. But Tong, it goes to show that like the more strikes he throws in the zone, the better he's doing on the K rate. The K rate literally coincides with his strike rate, like 71.4% K rate on this April 27th start to match a 61.3% strike rate. So this is a dude where you just say, yeah, your stuff is working in the zone. Just keep playing that. It's working. You're getting less walks that way, and you're getting more Ks at the same time. So that's what we're seeing from Tong right now. Gotta love it. Number 2 is going to be this one is so easy. He just was monster mashing all week last week. It is Jack Caglione with the Royals. 9 for 23, 4 home runs. You hit 4 home runs in a week, you're probably going to make the T10. So Jack here, number 2 in the T10. And this is what I love to see from him, dude. I'm going to pull him up in a second here. But a 72% contact rate. With his power, that's awesome. That's all you need. You don't need an 80% contact. I mean, if you had someone with his power, the 80% contact rate, you're talking about Shohei Ohtani or whatever. But like, you don't need that from him. If he has a 72% contact rate with his ridiculous power, like that's going to play all day. What do you think, Doc?
I agree. You typically, in this case, it's balanced. So typically, you envision the contact rate slipping a little. In the big leagues, you don't think it's going to necessarily translate. That said, this is his first full pro year. So it's like, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine as long as he can, maybe he gets it up to 75 and then he gets promoted, gets back down to 71. As long as he's like kind of staying in this wheelhouse. And then by the time he's in the bigs, hovering around 70, maybe even like high 60s, he could probably pull it off. I was having this conversation the other day about Everson Pereira. He's got like a 58% contact rate. I'm like, I don't think that's going to happen because frankly, like you can make a sub 70% contact rate work. It's extremely like you have to have the right profile for it. Caleb Durbin you can't pull that one off. Aaron Judge pulls it off. So maybe you don't have to be Aaron Judge, but you have to have like probably 30 plus home run juice. Just as a loose generalization, play some good defense, if whatever. But in this situation, we were looking at a guy who you can't say this very often, but Jack Cags has Aaron Judge tier power. He does. He has it.
Yeah, for sure. I can't wait until he's in AAA and we get like StatCast so we can get EVs from him and stuff. I'm really excited to see what his 90th percentile EV is. But this is what I love so far for Jack. I don't even care about 9 home runs, great. And 326 batting average is awesome. But like this is what is most important. His contact rate's even better than when I wrote my article. 73.7% right now. And then this is the next thing that I love here an 11% walk rate, 11.2
Mm-hmm.
against a 21.7% K rate. When he was drafted, everyone's like, oh, he's going to strike out 30% of the time. He strikes out way too much. 21.7 plays hard for a power hitter. And then this is the last thing I'm going to highlight here. His splits, he's hitting 346 against righties. And you might say, okay, that means probably lefties are beating him. 296 batting average against lefties. And he has 3 of his 9 homers against lefties. So his splits are basically non-existent. Like there's a small downplay. He's a little bit better against righties as a lefty hitter, but he is not going to be a platoon guy. He is going to mash against lefties and righties, which especially this day and age with all these platoon plays is incredibly important. Like I was so high on Evan Carter, and then I didn't realize when he was coming up how bad he actually was against lefties. And then once he got exposed at the majors against lefties, I was like, oh, that sucks. You can't even use this guy in a weekly league because he doesn't play in 2 out of every 5 games or every 7 games or whatever. So Jack is not going to have that problem, I think.
Yeah, he's a stud. I mean, don't talk that way about Carter. He's just finally showing some life, man. We're going to see what happens. It's funny. He's still insanely young. Like, you can't rule it out. But, at this point, I don't care about that. I care about stay healthy and be productive against righties. Then we can talk from there.
T3 is a fun one. We have an old school name from like years ago. We have friggin' Christian Robinson, number 3 with the Arizona Diamondbacks, outfielder Christian Robinson. Last week, dude, Christian Robinson, 5 for 14 with 2 bombs and 6 stolen bases. And get this, Doc. You might think, don't look it up. Don't look it up. How old is Christian Robinson? How old do you think Christian Robinson is?
I think he's 26.
He is still only 24 years old.
Okay.
so that
I'm looking up his other things, his contact skills. Yeah, that's what I thought they would be.
Yeah, not great, Bob, but not great, Bob. But he's got 7 home runs right now, and let's see how many. I think he had 10 or 11 last time I looked. Let's see what he's at on the speed. So 7 home runs, and then we've got, where is he? And don't mix up Christian Campbell and Christian Robinson, please. Completely different people. Christian Robinson is the guy who I think was in like purgatory for a year.
This happened. This happened in a
11 steals. 11 steals.
This happened in a 30-teamer this offseason. There was a trade made. I'm not going to pull it up right now and bore everyone to death, but it was incredibly like the league was in an uproar. They're like, this is kind of a BS trade, and I'm the commissioner, luckily. So I'm like, gosh, guys, yeah, I don't do vetoes, but this really seems like a really bad deal, And they're like, we just couldn't figure it out. And the guy's like, well, I don't know, I was at freaking Mardi Gras, I'm just having a good time, it was literally at Mardi Gras, and someone else says, bro, do you what Christian you have there? It's not Campbell, it's Robinson. He said, he's like, yeah, okay. And then he looks again. He's like, he says, guys, I understand if you don't want to reverse this, but I said, that's all I needed to hear. Like I don't veto, but because really, like if you are donating Christian Campbell, basically, it was basically a bunch of nobodies and then Christian Campbell in there for some reason. Or yeah, whatever it was. I think Christian Campbell got traded, whatever it was. Anyway, yeah, it was a situation. But if you're gonna veto when some guys just black out at Mardi Gras, I guess that's a good reason.
It's the Julio Rodriguez thing. I had a league where Julio Rodriguez got up to like $18 in an auction, but it was like the Tigers catching prospect, not before everybody realized. So that was fun. But Christian Robinson, when you look at his splits too, look at this guy. No split issues. He's striking out a ton, but he has a 449 OBP against righties. As a righty, he's also mashing lefties, 431 against lefties. And then his home runs, 3 against righties, 4 against lefties. So I don't know. It might be the return of Christian Robinson. I just want to throw him back on everybody's radar because he's actually back and he's playing very well. And this is a name that there's prospect fatigue on him like years ago. That's how long he's been around. It's been he's like past the prospect fatigue stage, and he's in the stage that everyone forgot he existed, and he's actually playing well. So I'm just going to throw that name back out there so that anyone paying attention, Christian Robinson, still only 24 years old, and he's balling right now. So maybe a name to watch. Number 4, this is another Doc guy right here. We've got starting pitcher Travis Sikora with the Nationals.
Yeah.
He's back. He came back this week. And if you watch the video of this complex league start, it looked like an adult playing against little leaguers. Like, it's so bad. Yeah. It's not even fair. He pitched 3 innings, 8 strikeouts, 0 walks. Oh, and all 3 innings were perfect. No walks, no hits. But like, it's just not even fair. Like, it literally, go watch that video and tell me that does not look like an adult playing against little leaguers. But that's like exactly what it looks like to me when you watch it. It's just completely not fair. Dude's like pumping in 95 with his friggin' splitter. Just like, okay. Like the fastball is just like floating up in the zone. These guys are swinging like 2 feet under the fastball. Just not even fair. Not even fair at all. But
yeah,
your boy Sikora here.
Well, everyone, when you're looking at his profile coming out of the draft, you see he can touch triple digits. He's 6'6", probably like 240 now or something like that. Just big Texas flamethrower. He looks up to Nolan Ryan. He models his delivery, if you can't tell, after him. He's got kind of a fun delivery, his windup. And so the thing is, you get caught up in that kind of profile. You think, okay, it's that heater that's going to kill everyone. And it is a good pitch, but it's actually, he's got a splitter and he's got a slider, I believe, that those are actually considered his plus pitches right now. The fastball is actually like, they need to kind of, it's in a great place, but it's the third pitch. It's like the third best pitch. So, which is kind of interesting, right? Because that means he currently has probably at least 3+ pitches if you want to.
It looked so good in this complex league start. I watched.
I'm not even trying to downplay the fastball. I'm just trying to illustrate why he's like. I think I have Sikora my last ranking. Sorry to keep rolling. I bulldozed you there. But I had Sikora above Roki Sasaki, and people got mad at me like, you got some kid up there. I'm like, well, I just view Sasaki as a prospect. He's a top 20 prospect. I think he's going to be good, probably. I don't see why I need to expect him to be an SP1 off the top. Oh, he's got this really good pitch. I'm like, don't care. Don't care. Different ball here. Hasn't done it, different. It's just a different world. And I don't see a ton of, even Ohtani as a pitcher, he's not pitching right now. He's I just don't see an amazing track record of overseas pitchers making it work and staying durable. Even great guy, like really solid guys like Ryu from Korea, he was just like breaking all the time. I'm not sure. It's just a different game. Maybe I think they go every 6 days overseas, correct?
Yeah, they do.
Maybe that's part of it. I mean, I know they tried to baby Sasaki. Yeah, so I don't know. There's a lot of reasons. Like I never said he was bad, but not having him first overall was apparently a cardinal sin, and feeling pretty good about it right now. And Sikora is flashing. Maybe Sikora has his own issues that come up, but as of right now, feeling really good about it. Thinking Travis Sikora is going to be a top 10 prospect by the end of the year if he can make his way up into Double-A and carve them up. I mean, is he at high A yet or what?
He was just a complex. I don't know where they're going to put him.
He's just at complex. But yeah, I know he was at. This is the only issue with him is that I don't think he made it to high A last year.
No.
The pitches are what they are. They're elite. It's not like he's struggled really anywhere. So yeah, we need to see this guy aggressively promoted. He needs to get healthy, obviously. Well, and just we could spend all day here. I will leave you with this, folks. Sikora crushed last season with a bad shoulder. He had like a labrum issue the whole year. Apparently he had it for a couple years. So he's been playing less than his highest potential. I'm excited.
Yeah. So Sikora, this is what's funny. You just mentioned Roki. I heard Jeff Ponce say that he would take Chase Burns right now over Roki, which is interesting. I was really high on Chase Burns and I was really high on Roki. I probably would too. Back at the beginning of draft season, probably not. But I think now I would be on that, especially since one guy is healthy and one guy is not. So Roki versus Sakura is very interesting. Taking Sakura over Roki right now. I wonder if like Welsh was to do his P1 ADP draft like right now, if Sakura, I don't know if I don't think Roki, I don't know if he could still classify as a rookie, but I wonder if Sakura would rank ahead of him in that draft. He might. And then you were there saying it the whole time. So, you might be right on that one. I agree with you. Number 5 on the T10 is my number 111 prospect. 1-1-1-1-1-1. It is Eduardo Quintero, outfielder with the Dodgers. It's hilarious because he had this big week, and I saw so many people like, oh, Quintero, I've never heard of him. Like, this is a dude that I talked about a lot last season when he was in Complex. This is a guy that I love. I never really like pitchers in Complex. It's like hard to rank them, but hitters in Complex, I can get a pretty good read on. DSL, you can't learn anything off DSL, but Complex you actually can.
No.
But Eduardo Quintero, last week, 9 for 25, 6 extra base hits, Doc, with 3 homers and 2 steals. That is a full week right there. This dude, the power, I love to see this power because last season, I think he only had like 3 homers all of last season. And then he had 3 homers just this week. And now he has 6 homers on the season. So last year, if you were looking at his stats, you would think, okay, this guy is going to be a speed first guy. I don't know if there's power in there, blah, blah, blah. That's just if you're only stat hunting here. Because last season, he had 3 bombs and 32 steals. This year, right now, Doc, Quintero already has 7 home runs and 14 steals, which is sick. He should probably be in high A already, and I think he's only 19 years old. So that is how good Eduardo Quintero is. This is what my comp was for him in my preseason rankings. I comped him to shades of Wander Franco, hopefully without the child molestation. Shades of Wander Franco as an outfielder with less power and more speed. Just because that's like when I watch him, that's just like what the vibe I got of like his mechanics and stuff like that. So if you're like, Tim, you're being edgy here, throwing Wander Franco in here. No, that's just like literally like when I watch the mechanics, that's like the first name that popped in my head. So sorry, I'm not trying to be edgy, but yeah, I love Eduardo Quintero here. Not like Wander Franco loves 13-year-olds. I love him a lot.
He went back to the well. So yeah, I'm not like super taught up. I don't really know too much about Quintero. I've heard him getting buzzy, so I did a little digging. Here's my problem. Here's why. I start getting a bias. I've mentioned this a couple times before. Something I'm noticing more recently is like fatigue when a team is too good at developing prospects. I'm like, where's he going to play? How far? Okay, how long are they going to keep him down? Like Quintero's only 19. I mean, you got to kind of hope that the Dodgers trade him to someone who has more incentive to play him sooner. So that's not a knock against the kid's ability. He's only 19, so I'm not super worried about a 73% contact rate just yet. And maybe you want to see that tick up a little before a promotion, but yeah, that's my big takeaway from any of these. I think that's a big reason why it seemed to take a while for Samuel Basayo to finally get that huge hype boost. It happened. Now he's a very hype prospect, but for the longest time, it was like fighting people. Where's he going to play? Doesn't matter. First of all, probably still going to catch a little bit, but it doesn't matter. He's so good. Just forget about it. But there was that issue of the Orioles at that point in time. It seemed like they had an unlimited amount of prospects. That was before Holiday came up, before Westbrook came up, before Mayo came, whatever, right? And so before Grayrod came up, it's like they had a whole bunch of stuff. We can talk about Orioles. Geez, that's a very fascinating subject. But yeah,
I don't really, as a prospector, I don't really think about that thing until they get to like Double-A, because there's such a chance that he's going to get traded. It's like, if the Cardinals didn't just go on like a 9-game winning streak or whatever, I'd be like, trade Eric Fetty. Like Roki just got hurt. Trade Eric Fetty for Eduardo Quintero right now. Boom. Everybody wins. So, like you never know because he's so low. It doesn't really matter for like another year for him. Now in Dalton Rushing's case, it did matter. And I'm just actually surprised he got called up. But like that mattered because he's in AAA, and you're like, okay, is this guy going to get Michael Bush here? But he's 19. He's an A-ball. I'm not concerned. If he's still blocked in 2 years, then I'll be concerned. But I love what he's doing right now in A-ball. And if you look at his splits here, he's got like reverse splits. So this is fun too. Like I like even splits, but reverse splits are cool too because he's a righty. And you can see he's 349, 505, 663 slash with 6 bombs against righties. And then, Doc, this is the thing too. I don't know if you noticed. Despite only a 71.6 contact rate, which is like, maybe it's a little lackluster, he still has an almost 19% walk rate with a 25% K rate. So that's like a little like Emmanuel Rodriguez-ish right there. I don't think he's going to have the contact problems of a Rodriguez because you see that he actually swings the ball a little more. 39%. Actually, that is kind of a little Rodriguez-ish. I think Emmanuel Rodriguez's swing rate is like 20%. He like doesn't swing nothing. But that's so you can see maybe there's a little too much patience here in the profile.
He's pretty young. There's time.
Yeah, exactly. So next guy in the T10, number 6, as my computer just turned off, we've got a Yankees pitcher. And you tell me what you think, how to say his name. Is it Carlos Lagrange or is it Carlos Lagrange? With the Yankees. I have to check out how his name is said. Lagrange.
It's like, is he named after the ZZ Top song?
Yeah, I've heard someone say Lagrange even. So I don't know if it's Lagrange.
I will say Lagrange.
Lagrange.
Because it's more fun. Carlos Lagrange.
Carlos Lagrange.
There we go. Carlos Lagrange. Guy's like, I'm from Mexico.
Yeah.
Where's he from?
Exactly.
Birthplace, Dominican Republic. Okay.
They're all Latin strings. Come on. 5 and 2/3.
Oh, he's 6'7".
Yeah, this dude's a beast. 5 and 2/3 last week. 9 Ks, 1 walk, 0 ERA, 0.53 WHIP. So 22-year-old righty at high A with the Yankees. He needs to come up. He needs to be called up a little bit here. But yeah, elite command at 6'7", and he can touch 101 miles per hour on the fastball, Doc. Plus, he's got 2 sliders. So that's always fun. He's a 2-slider guy with 101 at 6'7". That's pretty nasty coming at you with high command. This is why people love Noah Schultz, because he's a huge dude with a big fastball. Difference is he's a lefty. But you know what? Like could be like the under the radar righty version of Noah Schultz here with Carlos Lagrange or whatever we're gonna call him. I don't know. Lagrange.
Yeah, I mean,
what do you think about
this? Is like where it's the opposite of the. It's kind of like the opposite of the Jonah Tong situation, although this is more of a height thing, right? He's 6'7", 195, so probably actually can afford to fill out some more. Even more exciting, right? It's like, I don't know anything about the guy, so I'm not going to go too high on the hype train here, but I love what I'm seeing. A heavy K9, like 14 K9, I think I saw. Doesn't seem to have too many walk issues yet. So Yankees are looking all right. I'm not sure how Ben Hess is looking these days. I know he was popping up recently, and Bryce Cunningham's looked electric. So all of a sudden,
don't forget Schlittler, dude. Don't forget Cam Schlittler.
Adolf.
Yeah, great mustache.
Yeah, don't call me Adolf Schlittler.
Yeah. So one of the things I love about his profile is look how consistent he is, dude. First start of the season, 7 Ks, 2 walks. Second start, 9 Ks, 1 walk. Then 8 Ks, 2 walks, 8 Ks, 1 walk, 9 Ks, 1 walk. Like, he is just so consistent. And look at this strike rate. 53, 54, 58, 55, 59. Like, he's getting better, honestly. But, like, I just love how consistent he is. That's a pitcher that you can trust. The weird thing is, look at this. He absolutely destroys righties. Like, just destroys. 396 OPS for righties against him. But lefties, 806 OPS. So might have to worry about lefties with him. Hopefully he doesn't fall into like that kind of like, kind of thing where just lefties start smashing him. But he is still striking him out. Like you see, he's actually got a better swing strike rate against lefties than he does against righties. So that might just be a pitch mix issue or like, I don't know. It's kind of weird. This is the other weird thing. Look, he has pitched against 55 lefties and only 44 righties. So that means teams are like loading splits up on him, or he's just
Mm.
oddly pitching against teams that are very lefty heavy in the minors. That's really weird. You never really see that, a pitcher who faces more lefties than righties. Kind of weird.
I mean, I'm not sure if they're giving him these are what are these appearances? April. It looks like they have him a starter schedule, so he's
Oh yeah.
starting. Yeah, that's weird. I mean, that's interesting that they'd be. Yeah, I think that's luck. I would be surprised that at that level, managers are like really trying to game like that, but you never know.
Yeah. So next guy we have, talking about Mets pitchers, I didn't bring him up for a reason. We have Nolan McLean making his first start at AAA. The man with the nasty slider is what I like to call him. But his first start at AAA, and mind you, every Mets starter that I have seen gets rocked at AAA. Like Sprout got rocked when he came up to AAA. Christian Scott, when he first got to AAA, got rocked. Nolan McLean first started AAA, 7 innings pitched, 7 Ks, 0 walks, 0 earned runs, 1 whip. Um, everyone has been talking about him lately because his slider might be the best slider in the minors. It's just a ridiculous movement. Like it's been on like Pitching Ninja. There's like all kinds of gifs about it, but like his slider, insane movement. Nolan McLean, I'm going to bring him up now because guess what? We have StatCast data from him. Check this out, all this StatCast data. Only 91.3 miles per hour on the fastball. So not a big fastball. We're going to be all slider here pretty much. And we can see his arsenal now on the page if you're watching on YouTube. So hint, hint, go watch YouTube instead of just listening. But you see here, actually, look, four-seamer 94. I guess they're categorizing his fastball differently because he has a cutter and a fastball, so maybe they're mixing it. So his cutter,
Yeah.
his cutter is 89.1. His four-seamer is 94.8. And his sweeper, which I guess is the slider that they call, I don't know why they call it a sweeper, the slider. It looks more like a slider than a sweeper to me. But that's got a 14.3% swing strike rate on it, and that's at 86.8. So I don't know if they categorize the sweeper or the cutter as the slider here in the categorization. I might have to ask John about that, how that is going to categorize that. But pretty interesting to see some of that. And you could see CSW on pitch by pitch too. So let's bring that up real quick here. So we can see, maybe that'll tell us whether it's the sweeper or the cutter that is getting categorized right now as that slider. Boom. Let's bring him up. Look at this. Cutter has 47.4% CSW. So I think that pitch that we are seeing all over on the GIFs is probably categorized as cutter here. That pitch that we're calling a slider. But he's throwing at 89. This is just some interesting stuff to look at. You can see he's actually dropping that in for more strikes in his fastball, even at a 58% strike rate. This is only this first start because you can see there's only 78 pitches because this is the only start that we've had StatCast data from so far. So this is the only thing that we're getting pitcher arsenal data on. But if you haven't yet, check out John's thing because on his tableaus, you can see actual like pitcher arsenal breakdowns for minor leaguers, which is like, it's basically like you could see the stuff that you want to see on Pitcher List for the minor leagues on his thing. It's pretty cool. But anyway, you got anything on McLean?
Yeah, he used to be a two-way guy. I'm assuming he's not anymore, and I'm assuming that's why he's taking a step forward because he was flashing last year, and then I think literally as of when I say literally, I don't like when people overuse the phrase and term literally. Just say what you got to say, unless it's anyway.
Literally, don't use the word literally.
Yeah, don't use it too literally. So yeah, as recently as last year, McLean was being tried out as a two-way guy. For some reason, he was doing terribly as a hitter, if I recall. And his pitching results started going by the wayside. I had him in a league, cut him because he wasn't looking good. Now he's looking good. So yeah, hey, here's the thing, folks. They're human beings. They're not just data. The human being actually influences the data. That's why things change. So that's you got to think about that side of the game. So when someone has a certain amount of hours in their day to go out and focus on something, what you do most is what you'll become. If what you think about most is what you'll become. And so if you're sitting around hitting half of your day and then you're pitching the other half of the day, like and the hitting's going nowhere, it's actually wasting resources. It's going to tire your muscles. It's going to do a lot of things that are not really useful if your future is a pitcher. So, which kind of gives you some sympathy for when a situation where Jack Kaggs wants to pitch. And you're like, oh, that would have been cool. It's like, yeah, well, look how he's mashing now. He probably wouldn't be as good. He probably would be needing more
I would be
development.
striking out 30% of the time then.
Yeah, probably. Bryce Eldridge, I would have liked to see it. I think he was a better pitcher. But anyway, this is all to say that Shohei Ohtani is even more impressive than you give him credit for. And also, yeah, I'm excited for the future for Nolan McLean now that he is pointing one-way pitching.
Yeah, agreed. Number 8, starting pitcher J.R. Ritchie with the Braves in high A. He pitched a Maddox this week, Doc. And if you don't know what a Maddox is, that means he had a complete game shutout in less than 100 pitches. So pretty sick for him to do that. 9 innings pitched, 9 Ks, 1 walk, 1 hit, 16 whiffs. Obviously, no ERA and a .22 whip and 95 pitches. And then he was promoted also to Double A right after that outing. So I guess when they're like, hey, dude, that was pretty awesome. I think you're too good now for this level. Get him out of here. Send him to Double A. One of the things with J.R. Ritchie is we've seen a lot of improved command so far this season from previous seasons. So J.R. Ritchie, I'm trying to bring him in here. I won't get Arsenal data because he's not in AAA yet. Un segundo. So J.R. Ritchie, bringing up the profile here. You can see if you are looking on YouTube that he had a lot of good control after the first 2 starts. First 2 starts were kind of crappy. 2 strikeouts, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, 3 walks. And then April 16th, things started turning around because he started throwing more strikes. You can see his bad starts, 40% strike rate, 37% strike rate. Then he started turning things around on April 16th, 48% strike rate. Oh, guess what? 6-2. And then ever since then, 54, 57, 54, 52. This is one of these situations where maybe something wasn't working mechanically and he fixed it. Or he's just like, look, my stuff is good enough that I should just throw it in the zone more and it's actually playing properly. So he figured something out and it's working. And he had his best start of the season last time out. Hard to top the Maddox. What do you got on J.R. Ritchie, Mr. Doc?
Nah, I don't really have a whole lot of thoughts on him other than the Braves are really weird with their pitching development. Like, it's like I think we appreciate them as fantasy GMs as being able, if a guy's playing well, they'll keep on sending him up and up and up all the way to the top until we see struggles. And so you appreciate that. But also it's like we've seen times where we have to actually be patient. So, but all in all, it's a good organization. I think maybe there's a bit of Braves fatigue lately. But still, this is not the Oakland or whatever team they are now, the Athletics. This is not that pitching development. There's a reason to believe, anytime you see a pitcher starting to take off, put him on your watch list at the very least.
Yeah, he has pedigree too. In 2022, he was picked 35th overall, paid $2.4 million. So he's got some pedigree here. It's just nice to see him start turning the command around. Fastball is 92 to 93. But it has good IVB, so like there is rise to it, which is going to make it play up a little more. Maybe like 94, 95 is how it's going to play. And then he's got a good slider is how he's getting most of his swinging misses. Number 9, we have a guy that you can probably use in fantasy leagues this year. He's probably going to get promoted maybe very soon based on how many injuries this team always has. But we're talking about number 9 outfielder Carson McCusker with the Twins, who in AAA went 9 for 24 with 4 extra base hits, 2 bombs, and 2 steals last week. He is mashing this year. 9 home runs on the season, 17 extra base hits. This dude is 27 years old. He basically got screwed by COVID, where like the COVID draft messed him up, and then he had to go to independent ball. And this is a guy who's like drafted out of high school in like 2017 or something like that, and then didn't sign. He like went to college instead, and then basically got screwed by COVID. And when he graduated from college, didn't get drafted, had to go an independent route. So that's why he's so old, because he's only been in the minors for like 2 years. This is like his second year in the minors. He's actually raked his entire time through the minors. But 6'8" outfielder with 109 90th percentile EV and a 115 max EV, Doc. Carson McCusker, this is like the Twins style, right? Like you're Trevor Larnach type. You're like, this is the guy, this is like the classic Twins guy, like older outfielder comes up and just mashes. Trevor Larnach, Matt Wallner. I think there's a spot for him this year, especially, we're talking about an outfield that has like Emmanuel Rodriguez and Byron Buxton, and they've got Royce Lewis and Carlos Correa running around on this team. So guys are like dropping all the time on this team. So I think he's got a good shot here for McCusker.
Well, I mean, you're raising the one reason I'd be terrified to own him. We get excited about Luke Keyshaw.
He's 6'8". He's invincible.
Yeah, Luke Keyshaw, we're like, yeah, we got a stud, and he's gone. Walker Jenkins, he's a freaking beast, and he's gone. Emmanuel Rodriguez, and he's gone. It's like, dude, it's insane. It has to be luck at some. But I just don't know, man. How much bad luck can you have? So I'm serious when I say, just be careful, because their entire hitting kind of development, their guys seem to keep getting hurt. At some point there may be an organizational issue. I don't know. That's just like, anyway. What's his contact rate? It's bad, but he's huge. Doesn't matter as much. Yeah, so no, I mean, this is cool. This is a fun guy. He wasn't really on my radar, so now he is. I like that. I like that name. He sounds like he's from Nebraska because he sounds like Cornhusker.
McCusker. So he sounds like a Civil War general.
He also sounds like that.
So his roster rate on Otnu is only 1.53%. So this guy is basically unrostered in pretty much any league. That's 40 man rosters, 1.53%. And he's on the cusp of of getting promoted here. So I think that there is a good shot.
Dude, are we sure that this guy? I had to cut you off because, he's a little older, but dude, I think he actually might be like 47. I think this is like, are we sure he's not Dominican? This is
Albert Pujols.
If you look at his picture on Baseball Reference, he looks like he's a grizzled Western like sheriff or something. This guy does not look like a prospect. He does not look like he should be in the minors. He looks like he's an umpire or something. It's very funny. Stud, absolute unit.
Yeah, well, if you're 40 years old and you're hitting the ball 115 miles per hour, you're probably still in the majors. So number 10, last guy on the T10 is outfielder Carson Benj with the Mets, first rounder this last year, 7 for 19. 3 Mets. I didn't even notice that until right now. 3 Mets in the T10 this year. I guess I'm a Mets fan now. 7 for 19, 3 extra base hits, 2 home runs, and 3 steals this last week. This is one of the things about Benj. You got power, you got speed, and you have contact rate. 81% contact rate right now on the season. So that's a big thing. You're getting everything from him. What are your thoughts on him? The one thing is he sucks against lefties. Look at this. 150 batting average against lefties. It's only 27 plate appearances, but that is pretty atrocious, his contact skills against lefties. So maybe we have Evan Carter 2.0 here. What do you think about Carson Benj, Doc? You're muted. You're muted. Oh, goodness.
Muted. I know I'm muted. It's only with you. Sometimes I'll unmute myself and my camera goes. But hey, at least we're not in robot land anymore. It's been pretty smooth sailing. Thank the Lord. I don't really care about strong side platoons. I know you said earlier, I can't play them in weekly leagues. I can if they're really good. I think about Jock Peterson last year, right? Not this year. Think about him last year, right? Like, so there's some guys where if they platoon on the strong side, that's fine. Of course, we'd prefer a full-time player, but sometimes they can be so good against one side. It's like, okay, as long as it is the dominant side and you are making sure they're not playing like 4 or 5 lefties that week in some freakish way. Yeah, I mean, the short side platoons what scares me a lot more. So Yeah, with Ben, she's got some some good amount of pedigree. He was really hyped for a little while, kind of died down, being in the New York market. And I'm sure he's about to, you know, fly up the hype list again. Did that's interesting. Did you know he actually pitched last year in college?
I did not know that.
And
Maybe
it
I
looks
did and
like
I
he
forgot it too. So-
yeah, it looks like he did. He had 10.7 strikeouts per nine, 2.7 walks per nine. But being 6'1", 184, yeah, I think that was probably the right move.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
he and Nolan McLean can just he should pitch to Nolan McLean just for fun when they're on the same team at some point.
there you go.
But yeah, you gotta love the profiler. 81% contact rate, almost a 16% walk rate, only 21% K rate, with the 3 bombs and I think 6 steals now on the season, and 6 doubles, 2 triples. So he's pretty much doing it all. It's like it pretty much is like an Evan Carter profile to this point. So that's pretty good for him. I'm going to go through now a couple of honorable mentions that I have real quick here. Jacob Mizurowski last week, you already mentioned him, but 11 Ks, 1 walk in 6 2/3. Did it again. I didn't want to throw him on because I had him on last week. Number 12, Adrian Pinto with the Blue Jays, 4 extra base hits, 3 bombs, 2 steals. Number 13, Michael McGreevy with the Cardinals, who should be in the freaking starting rotation. It's ridiculous that he's in the minors still. But 5 innings with 9 Ks in 5 innings, which is he's not a strikeout guy. So it's interesting to see that with 1 walk. But the big thing for McGreevy is he actually hit a new velocity high in this start. He topped out at 9. He's never hit 95 before. Usually he was around like 93, but he hit 95 in this start. So Michael McGreevy. And also the sweeper, 19.5 swinging strike rate on that sweeper this year for Michael McGreevy. Number 14, Braden Montgomery with the White Sox, who was just promoted. 9 for 23, 5 extra base hits, 3 bombs for Braden Montgomery, who has actually performed better at high A than he was doing at single A. So he just keeps getting better no matter they promote him and he keeps getting better. And Doc, another Cardinals pitcher for you here in the honorable mentions, Ixon Hernandez. I don't know. I guess it's Ixon. I don't know. Hernandez, 6 innings pitched, 8 Ks, 0 walks, 0 ERA, 0.5 WHIP. This is a lefty who throws 96 miles per hour. Last year, he was only throwing 93, Doc. So I don't know what he did in the offseason here, but he gained 3 ticks on the fastball, and 96 from the left side is pretty darn good. He's got IVB too on that fastball, killer curve, and his sweep. He has a new sweeper that's a flying saucer. That thing just cuts across the zone, and he loves to backdoor it against righties. So fun pitcher here, Ixon Hernandez with the Cardinals. He's kind of like a big riser in the org for me, despite only like an 11.3 swinging strike rate. So hopefully he gets
What's
that
his?
up.
How do you spell that name?
Ixan for the listeners. Ixan Hernandez or Henderson. Sorry, not Hernandez. I don't know how to say Hernandez. I guess because he's got a Spanish first name, it like made me say
Yeah, that's
English,
confusing.
and an English last name. I'm like, what? Yeah, sorry.
He's
It's
from California, dude.
Henderson. My bad.
Deport this guy. I don't care. Even if he's white and from America, he's gone. Look, we are. We believe in equality of deportation here. If you have a stupid name, Ixon Hernandez, dude, you're
not allowed
gone.
to clash cultures here.
I'm pretty sure he's like 100% white. Henderson is a Scottish name. And that's just some California parents who said we're gonna call him Ixon. Dude,
Ixon. Yeah, just for fun.
I want to get excited for this guy, but his name is throwing me off. I guess I'll try to pay attention to him. Gosh, he needs to change that name immediately. I'm so mad. He's born 2 days after me. Okay, he's a little bit cooler now.
Yeah, he's close, right there, bro. But yeah, look, his CSW is 32.8, so it's kind of weird. He has a pretty, like, I don't know, below averagey swing strike rate for a pitching prospect, but then almost 33% CSW. So that just means he's getting a lot of good calls in the zone. So maybe just like hitters are stunned by stuff. I don't really know what that tells you. Kind of interesting though. Who do you have for Huckleberries this week, Doc?
Bro, I don't really get a whole lot. I didn't have time to prepare for this one.
Trouble.
We'll see. But listen, dude, I just got yesterday. It's been a whirlwind. You're going to Atlanta, they said. And then my mom's coming into town the next week. Don't worry, I'll have things to talk about. Like, I'm interested in Matthew Lugo. Like
Yeah.
I can just come up with stuff on the spot. We'll see how he's been doing though. Okay, is that real? Okay, Matthew Lugo has been hitting home runs. He's actually doing really well. This is great to talk about. I was excited. I already had him on my radar. Cool, man. That's great. I have him in some deep leagues. Yeah. So Matthew Lugo, he was kind of he's actually Albert. Nobody knows this. Nobody talks about this. I believe he's Albert Pujols' nephew.
What? I didn't know that.
Let's make sure I'm not making that up. Matthew. That's such like a bold lie.
I think his kid is a prospect now, or maybe it was Mark McGuire's kid. I saw some Cardinal great. Their kid was like a prospect that is not Matt Holliday, because like all Matt Holliday's kids are going to be superstars or whatever. But
this has to be. Go on.
While you're looking that up, Raymond actually gave me a Raymondism. You're gonna like this one. So Raymond gave me a Raymondism for the week. Here are Colorado Rockies starters by Colorado Rockies pitchers by ERA. Jacob Stallings, the catcher, has a 4.5 ERA. Ryan Feltner, 4.75. Antonio Senzatella, 4.77. Kyle Freeland, 6.41. Chase Dolander, 7.71. And Herman Marquez, 8.27. So Jacob Stallings has a better ERA than any of their starting pitchers.
Not good, season. Bob.
No.
So
not good if you're the manager. You get fired.
Well, I mean, that's just like an organizational what the heck's going on over there. Not Albert Pujols, still cool though. Carlos Beltran.
Carlos Beltran's nephew. Okay,
that's still a big name.
The former Cardinal, a former Royal, Missouri connection there. All right. I dig it, Matthew Lugo. I'll be a fan. Yeah, you think, okay, is he related to Seth Lugo too now? So did like Carlos Beltran
almost certainly not
hook up with Seth Lugo's sister or something, and then that's where Matthew Lugo, or no, I guess that wouldn't work. That need to be the son. But
I took over this one team. Oh, cool! I got him in that league too. I took over this one team, which thank God I've turned into a stud factory. It's like we'll be okay, but he was just his profile completely melted away. He was just all strikeouts, no walks, wasn't looking great. He was in Boston. It's a Boston prospect. It's when you had a lot of hype, or I would say more hype around Matthew Lugo. And then he started turning it on again last year. And then he got hurt. And then he got traded to the Angels, and everyone forgot about him. And I'm like, that's actually not a bad thing because he'll play right away. So I started stashing him. I had a 30-man startup, and I'm like, yeah, I want Lugo. Nobody likes him. He'll probably be up. And now he's up. And yeah, I had no idea he was doing this well. So yeah, so far he's his debut. His first game he had at bats. He had an RBI, and a hit. In the second game, it looked like a pinch hit action, hit a home runner on his pinch hit. Then struck out twice, and then today, I guess he pinch hit again. Hey, how about you start him? Because or maybe not. Maybe pinch hit only.
Yeah,
because both times he's pinch hit, he's hitting a home run. That's great. So cool.
I like him too. You know, he was a guy that was on my radar last year. He only played in 79 games in the minors last year, and he hit 287, 376, 578 with 17 bombs and 16 steals. So a nice little combo power speed here. Not just a pinch hit home run guy, even though his average exit velocity in the majors this year, right now, small sample size fun, 99.5. Pretty sick. Doc, you got anything else before we check out here and I go eat because I haven't eaten anything yet today and it's 9 p.m.
Let me milk the time a bit more because now I know you're suffering. I do have to wake up at like 3 a.m. tomorrow. I'll just say, yeah, kudos Ryan Weathers. I'll have to look into how he did it, but 1 earned run over 5 innings. You love to see it. People were worried about the matchup, and I'm like, well, the Cubs are 5-5 in the last 10. It's like they're not frankly the Cardinals right now. They're not like a powerhouse. Yeah, it's like you don't want to go to Wrigley for your first start of the year, but he's not a rookie either. Like he'll be like if he's good, he'll be good. So I put him out there. Did well. Good for him. I think he's going to be a stud going forward. Aggressively acquire him. This wasn't a start where, where it was like 14 Ks. Oh my gosh, he's now I can never, you'll never be able to afford him now because the hype will be stupid. You can go out probably and get him now still. So just kudos to him. Kudos to both Luke Dickerson and Caleb Bonnemer. Go get those guys if you're
Yeah,
in deeper
agreed.
dynasty leagues.
Agreed. I got one more for you here. Logan Henderson or Ryan Weathers right now? Who are you picking up?
Ryan Weathers.
Ooh, like
Oh
it.
yeah.
Stick with your guy. I'm going Logan Henderson, but I love that you're sticking with your guy. So
And
that will call a podcast. You can find Doc on X at Doc Eisenhauer. You can find me at Fantasy Aceball. You can also find Doc on the Dynasty Dingers podcast, of course, and in movies everywhere. Just wait. Ooh. All right. Peace out, everybody. We'll see you next week.